A bad day at the office, bad day at fishing is better than a good day at the office. And some of you might have heard that phrase. It's just insinuating that it's a whole lot nicer to be outside in the sun rather than sitting in your office doing nothing. But now, what if we could assure you for a certain price that you will be catching fish in the sun? When I took my survey, it said everyone in here has been fishing. I think there were 3 people that own boats, not counting myself, and 4 people that have been on a charter fishing, on a charter that is licensed by a captain. So today I'm going to tell you about the benefits of getting a charter captain rather than trying to go out and do it yourself. And this is just in Florida. There's a whole bunch of different ways, different states and different rules that go along with each thing. That's what I'm going to explain first, is the rules and regulations of fishing. There's something called the FWC, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. And what they're in charge of is keeping the fish safe, the fish limited, and making sure the sizing of everything is right. They've made all these rules to ensure that they're going to be around for other people to catch. So you have all these things. Now there's a regulation for each and every fish you catch. There's regulations for all your boats and safety-wise that they're in charge of too. So when it comes to that, it's a lot of knowledge that you need to know before you go out fishing by yourself. On top of all these things, they make you get a license, which is around $13 for just saltwater for a year. It's not bad at all. But when it comes to all the things that you need to know and the penalties that if you break those rules, it gets really severe. There's certain fish that have their size limits. Redfish is, I think it's 23 to 28 inches. If you get bigger than that or smaller than that, you gotta put them back in the water and catch and release. Now, if you keep them, or keep any fish that's not in season, not in regulations, FWC has the ability to take everything that you have used to catch that fish and keep it. So they could keep all your fishing equipment, they could keep your boat. Say you trailered your boat, they could take your trailer. So they could take everything that you have invested your money in and just take it and keep it for themselves. So that's the other thing, other than you have to know each type of fish, you have to know the size of the fish. So that's just a lot of knowledge that one charter fisherman would already know. He has all those things. You don't need to buy a fishing license when you go through a charter captain. The other point I would like to make is the stress of caring for a boat. Here, it's at a marina, and what the guy's doing is just pressure washing the bottom of the boat. A lot of times marinas, they have these huge forklifts, lift stuff up, so you can spray underneath. But sometimes they leave your boat in the water longer than they should, which could lead to a lot of residue growing underneath. If you don't have bottom paint, it could damage the boat. It creates more drag when you're going on plane out to your fishing spot, which takes more money. What this guy over here is doing is waxing. Apparently he's been out there for a while, face is completely fried, and that reduces the drag and helps everything go smoother. This guy pressure washing his own boat. It's just the little things that become taxing when you get off the water. If you have a charter fisherman, it's all of his own problem. Or in my case, it would be my problem because I'm the first mate on a charter captain and I have to clean the boat. But what it comes to, it's the little stuff that it keeps nagging at you, and it gets rather annoying. Boat. I have it all spelled out with dots because I find it an acronym. I don't know if many people have heard this, but I find acronym for boat is bring on another 1,000, because that's what it stands for. Say you purchase a used boat, there's always improvements that you want to make to it. Adding lights on it, getting a new motor, getting a trolling motor, getting power poles that'll anchor your boat. So this all boils down to the cost of having your own boat. So the boat itself, this here is a 24-foot yellowfin, probably a 250 Mercury on it. That boat right there probably runs for around $84,000 new. So that's a lot of money if you think about it. Each of the fishing rods, it depends on where you want to get them. New rods and the size, usually they run from good ones, like new Shimano's, run from $300 to $800. The tackle. That's another really important thing. People have all these tackle boxes that are loaded with equipment, and you don't really know how much they're spending on it. Each lure, the things that come in the little boxes, are like $8 to $15 now. They've become ridiculously expensive. Down here you can see a little bag, those are the soft plastics, it's like $8 for 10 of them, which isn't bad, but then you have to get the weights, and you gotta get all the line and the leader for all this stuff. While the person that you'd be going out on the water with has the boat, has all top of the line rods and reels, and has all the equipment that he needs to do whatever type of fishing you want. So when it boils down to it, I'm going to run through a quick little scan here. If you're going to go top of the line, which I think Yellowfin is one of the best boats manufactured for a bay boat and for their offshore boats. I'm choosing a 24 bay because you can take it out offshore if the weather's nice, or you can take it into the backcountry and do your own flats fishing. So we're going to start with the Yellowfin. You have $84,000. At a marina now, it's $5.32 for gas. That's for the ethanol-free stuff. If you figure your tackle, we'll say $200 per rod. This is for inshore. You're probably going to want to have around 4 rods breaking off if people come out with you. The lure's $10 a piece. You're probably going to want to have, I would say, 15, 20 of them, and a couple repeats of the same ones, just in case, you cast it into the trees and then you lose it and there goes, $10. If you have your own cast net, that's another $80 for a nice cast net. If you want to go out and buy your own bait, it's about $50 every time you go out. So for a long run investment at a top of the line boat, you're probably going to be making a $100,000 investment. Be it for Yellowfin, for good gear and that stuff. $100,000. Charters usually run $75 to $150 an hour. So if you take that amount of money that you invested, you could spend over 600 hours with a charter captain. 600 hours. That's a very long time. And I don't think there's a person that fishes regularly enough to put 600 hours on their boat. Say you go down to a middle class boat, which I put at a CIMG 2010, 24 foot. The boat itself is $50,000. With all the tackle and stuff, you're probably going to add another $10,000, to go for a while. And with that, you'll be putting a little bit over 400 hours on the boat. 400 hours on a charter boat for that amount of money. If you get a used boat, say 15 grand, you put all the money into it, you have 25, you're out there for maybe 200 hours. Now that's still a lot of time. Over a whole entire year, the person that I work for and the person that I interviewed, whose name was Captain Ryan Rowan, they said that they put around 250 hours on their boat in 1 year. Now this is going out, I'm going to say 6 months out of the year they go out and they fish with clients on their boat. Each of them charge $100 per hour, which is pretty much middle of the line. They're respected fishermen in Charlotte County and going through Tampa. They fish a lot of tournaments and they know what they're doing. So you're out there and it's not a question of if you're going to catch fish, it's where you're going to catch it and when you're going to catch it. And also how you're going to catch it. There's a whole bunch of variety of charter fishing. So if you can't see, stepping out of the picture, you have offshore fishing. Offshore, there's different types. You could troll, which the lures for trolling cost like $15 a piece, 20, and you'll get dolphin, you'll get yahoo, you'll get a whole bunch of different types. And there's inshore fishing. That's also, you get a whole bunch of different types. You could fly fish when you're inshore, or you can fly fish when you're offshore. So fly fishing is a different option that you have. And this one is actually a lot of fun. It's a newer way of fishing. It's called bow fishing. See the fish on the top of the water, you're gliding, the motor's off. You have your client sitting on the front of the boat with the bow and arrow string attached to it. And they gotta shoot the fish and then pull it in. Usually you do it, it's a good way to get bait for stingray. You shoot it and it's a lot of fun for the client. We've done a few trips that we've allowed them to do it. We get nervous when they start going down because it's toward the boat. But it's a lot of fun and they really enjoy it. And just hitting a fish right there they're excited. Now you may say it's a ridiculous amount of price for going out and paying for it. Usually trips would run 6 hours. So you're looking at $600. Now what if you split that between two of your friends? That's $200 a piece. That's a lot more time that you can spend in the water if you guys keep sharing, if you guys keep splitting all your charters. But a lot of charter fishermen, what they do is no fish, no pay. If you guys don't catch a fish out there, or if you don't catch the amount of fish that the captain wanted you, they'll reduce the rate of the charter. So it's not like you're going to go out there and pay $600 and not catch anything. A lot of captains guarantee success on what they're going to be doing. So if you look at all the things that charters provide, you may think the cost is expensive if you have your own boat. I'm not against having your own boat. But you're going to say the cost is expensive, but when you look in the perspective of getting your own boat, getting all your gear, and doing things your own way, having the stress of finding the fish, and the amount of time that you're going to put into your boat, it's a lot more efficient to go through a charter captain. The gear, now people don't always want to buy expensive gear. I personally think it actually helps stay together longer, usually. And it'll definitely help you catch a fish and give you a higher landing ratio. The stress of having your own boat. And it's good for both your friends and for business aspect. We have, personally, as we go out and go into tarpon season, we have a lot of charters that are business orientated. Their company pays for them, and they just have a great time. Whether it's the wine and dine thing when you're trying to bribe people to buy a product, and they send you out on this charter and you have a great time, and then they persuade you to get it. And it's also the experience that the charters have. When it comes down to it, being out on the water almost every day, knowing where the fish will be, knowing the tides, and having the experience of what to throw at them and where to go is a large benefit, rather than wasting gas on driving around to different places. So, now that you've considered the cost, now that you've considered the cost, the different ways that you could fish, the stress of caring for your own boat, and the rules and regulations behind it, I hope that next time you choose to go fishing, that you'll look at it through a different perspective. If you have friends that want to join you, maybe you could go out and try and find a captain in your area that you go fishing for. Thank you.